Welcome back to 5 Talk Street. I'm Chris Howell, sitting in for Vince Sims. Unfortunately, there are times when people find themselves in trouble with the law. And thankfully, our veterans have an alternative to traditional criminal prosecution for limited types of offenses and for the proper medical treatment to those who have served our country. Through direct coordination with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, the Veterans Court Program can help to provide medical treatment, mentoring, and other services to our nation's veterans who are facing qualifying criminal charges. Now, here with us today to tell us more about the City of Dallas's South Oak Cliff Veterans Treatment Court is the Chief of Community Court, Diane Gibson. Diane, welcome to 5 Talk Street.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So glad to have you here. So, Diane, as we get into this, first of all, tell us what exactly is this Veterans Treatment Court Program and why it's so important to offer it to those who've served our country.
One of the things is why it's so important is under the City Attorney's Office, and Chris Caso is the City Attorney. And so we had the South Oak Cliff Veterans Court, and it's actually funded by the Texas Veteran Commission and BJA. And why it's so important is because a lot of times our veterans get lost in the shuffle. Yeah. And so they wanted to do something that was specifically designed just to assist our veterans. And so that's why this program came along. And so it's not only just a veterans court, which is a Class C misdemeanor court with the City of Dallas, but we also collaborate with the Dallas County with Judge Collins, who also has a higher offense veterans court. So we actually help them, whether it's a Class A and B, whether it's a felony or whether it's a Class C misdemeanor. We want to make sure those veterans, and it doesn't matter whether you was a dishonorable discharge veteran or whether you had an honorable discharge. Doesn't matter. The only qualification is that you served in the U.S. military. Oh, wow. Okay. I like that. You know, let's talk about this. When we talk about qualifying charges, you said misdemeanors, but what are maybe some of those qualifying charges that folks may not be aware of when we term it as just misdemeanors or C misdemeanors? For a Class C misdemeanor, it's quality of life crimes. Okay. And that's usually like a code violation or manifestation of prostitution, litter, panhandling, those are Class C misdemeanors.
So some of those minor offenses, again, but many times, again, they tend to, maybe because of folks can't afford a certain thing or some of that nature, it trips them up and they're continuing to be penalized or ticketed, particularly for code violations. Right. They can't fix the thing.
Right.
So not only do you guys help in the court situation, but you also then help them to make those necessary repairs so they're not repeat offenders on that code.
We work with over 32 partners. And so if we can't help you directly, we will help you indirectly. And so that means once a veteran comes into the court and then it's established that they are a veteran, they enter a plea of guilty or no contest. We have social workers in the court that will do a full assessment on that individual. We want to find out what are some of the underlying problems. I always tell people really don't just sit under a tree. There's a reason why they're doing it. And if you've ever tried to get through city government or federal government to get help, you know that can be a long, drawn-out process. Yeah. So we serve as advocates for them. We work on their behalf because we've already made the contact with the different partners. So when we call on your behalf, hopefully we get up to the top of the line, and then we're able to help you better. So a lot of times it's just something as simple as state ID, driver's license. And a lot of times they can't get their license if they have all these other tickets. So even though a quality of life crime may have brought you in the court, we're going to still run a check on you to see what other citations you may have. A lot of times it's just traffic violations. Wow. And so we have to make sure we take care of all of that before you go to DPS to get your driver's license or to get your state issued ID. And then a lot of times some of them don't think they qualify for the services because they felt like they got a dishonorable discharge. Nope. Sometime we can actually still work with the Veterans Administration to get your benefits started. So that's what we do. We serve as an advocate for that veteran. We work on their behalf to get them the services they need.
You know, thank you so much for that. I mean, these are men and women who have served our country, and again, it's giving them an opportunity to get back on their feet and get back in a position to really be able to take care of themselves. You guys have success stories. Yes. Quickly, tell us the story about Mr. Henry Hall.
Mr. Henry Hall is a real success story because Mr. Henry Hall has been just wonderful. He had a lot of issues with his record, plus he needed to get his license reinstated, and he was single at the time as well. And so when he came in, and he has just been a jewel. He has been a real success story because not only is he now finished the course, he graduated from the South Oak Cliff Veterans Court, but then he asked the judge to marry him at his recent wedding. Wow. In addition to that, he's now a mentor for our court. So he actually comes back into the court to help other veterans. And on a personal note, he married my niece.
Well, that means you guys really did, again, some great work, and you saw again, the man that he's now become, and you certainly wanted to make sure to have him part of his family. Well, great job there. Diane Gibson, I have known you throughout the community to do a number of things. Why is this work so important to you?
Because it gives us an opportunity to help those who cannot help themselves. And you know my story. I'm a daddy's girl for real. And all I ever saw in my household was that God blessed us. And as he blessed us, my father blessed other people. So it's just ingrained in me. It's just embodied in me, I guess, that you're supposed to help those. As much is given, much is required. And I get a kick out of this. I actually go to work every day for a purpose.
Yeah.
You just don't show up. You go to work for a purpose, because we're either going to help veterans or we help dual diagnose people. So if you have family that's dual diagnosed, we have a drug court to help you there. And in addition to that, if you don't have any issues, but you have citations that you need to get taken care of, we help you with all of that. Here's the real good news. We actually help you with all your social service needs, but we don't add an additional financial burden to you, because in addition to doing in addition to your fine, we let you do community service. So you don't have to pay anything. You go back to that very community, and now we're helping our seniors with code violations. We're painting houses. We're picking up trash. We're doing street address on the blocks and everything.
You're doing good stuff. Thank you so much for all that you guys are doing. Real quick, how can folks take advantage of the information you have to offer?
Just give me a call, 214-670-7129. Again, 214-670-7129.